you big bobs. Today, we're discussing the upcoming Adventure Camp season, fans versus favourites. I can't really have opinions on the fans, because we've never actually seen them in action, of course, but I can have strong opinions on the favourites. So today, I'm going to share my thoughts on the returning cast members and what they can do in the new season. However, before we do that, I'm going to quickly give you my opinion on the fan designs. Okay, here we go. Aura, she's an antagonist. Aubrey, she's probably going to be an early boot and return at some point. Bruno, he's going to have a plot with Aubrey and probably get roped into the villain stuff. Dunya, she's cool, I like her. Ernesto, he looks like a better version of Richard. Evie, she's basically going to do what Linda did in season 4. Finn, he's going to clash with Fiore. Manu, he looks like he's going to be a cool character. However, we can't have nice things. Nura, I'm not sure on her. Aluia, wow, I really don't like the look of her. She'll probably be an early boot anyway. Ren, the design is nice. Just a shame that the gender ratio will not be kind to the guys again. Sam, Junior again. He's cool. I like him. Alright, we're done with that. So now let's move on to the main focus of this video. I'll be discussing these in order and rank them at the end based on my excitement. First we have Alec. Boy, am I happy that he's in this season. I really enjoyed him in season 1 as a fresh face to the cast, and for the most part, I really enjoyed him in All Stars too. I honestly think he'll make Merge, but he won't make Final 6. Final 7 instead. Overall, I'd like to see him react to Spencer. We've learned in a greeting that Spencer's his favourite Carnival of Chaos contestant, and I think it would be really interesting to see them interact and possibly create a little alliance. With Fiore too, of course. Speaking of Fiore, wait, no, I need to do the Tom section first. Next up, we have Tom. Let's freaking go. Finally, we get this man some well-deserved screen time to develop without Jake. In both Season 1 and All-Stars, his plot always revolved around Jake, so getting to see him grow without him will be very interesting and exciting to watch. I've always wanted to see Tom by himself, and it's a shame that we only got that in one episode of Tom Jake Season 1. However, like other characters coming, I think he'll fall just short of the merge, almost reaching it but narrowly missing. I'd like to see him interact with Benji as two silly kings, along with Gabby, of course. Speaking of Gabby, wait, no, I need to do the Fiore section first. Fiore is by far the absolute greatest pick for this season. I cannot express more how much I think Fiore was destined for this season, ever since she made her ever first appearance in Adventure Camp. I thought Fiore was extremely relevant in All Stars, so seeing her get a third chance to compete makes me overjoyed. She's always been my favourite villain ever, and I just know that not only will we get more of that, her dynamic with Alec, hey that rhymed, and her savage insults, but I also think she'll get some redemption facing Finn, like Heather with Alejandro. In fact, I think she has one of the best chances of winning the season. Yeah, you heard that right. I think Fiore versus Finn finale will be stellar. In fact, it would be the most unpredictable finale of the entire series because they're both villainous characters. So yeah, I do think that she'll win. I also think that she'll have a very interesting dynamic with Benji. Maybe he could bring out the best in her and make it to the finale too, getting defeated by Finn. Overall, I have extremely high hopes for Fiore this season. Oh, and also, speaking of Benji, wait, no, I need to do the Gabby section first. Gabby! I was hopeful she would be in this season, and I am so unbelievably happy she is. I think she's going to make Final 6 at least. Hopefully. And although I wouldn't be mad about a Gabby win at all, I still think it should go to Fiore. However, Gabby is my favourite Adventure Camp character of all time, so her announcement had me jumping up and down. I'm also equally as happy that we're getting more of the Gabby and Tom friendship from the Tom Jake series, as their moments are easily my favourites of the entire spin-off. The Forest Molder and her Cambodia Ninja spin-off, please? Anyway, I also think Natalia could use her PR skills to help Gabby overcome her vision of her alter ego, making an interesting dynamic that is compelling to fans of both the characters. Anyway, speaking of Natalia, wait, no, I need to do the Rose and Maria section first. I mean, I did kind of see this coming, but thank the Lord that Rosa is in this season. She was totally robbed of the casting spot in All Stars by freaking Connor Blake. Nothing against Connor. So she totally deserves to compete here. I do think, like Aubrey, she'll probably be a returnee later in the game, but I'm okay with that. At least she's there. However, I do want her to branch out to other people instead of just sticking to Lake and Aiden. Although I find both of these friendships interesting, I think we saw enough of them in Season 2. So maybe it's time for her to make new friends and join different alliances. Anyway, speaking of Lake, wait, no, I need to do the Aiden section first. Huh? Aiden? Really? This is my first negative opinion on a returnee. Let me think. What more could he do there that he hasn't done already? Oh, be friends with Lake, Rosemaria and Tom? Wait, no, sorry guys, he's already done that. Oh, what else could he do? Maybe be an unexpected finalist? Nope, sorry everyone, he's done it all before. Oh, he could possibly be betrayed and have a sour elimination. Jesus, sorry as well. No, he did that in All-Stars. So why is he here? No Jake to cause drama, not enough villains to save face of Villainous Alliance. So what? In fact, I can't even do my joke here because there's nobody interesting for him to interact with. I know he'll probably be a pre-merge boot, but why have him here when you could have someone like James or Yul? Whatever, let's just move on. He's getting on my nerves. Next up is Lake. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say about this one. Now, don't get me wrong, I really like Lake, and I think her elimination in All-Stars is easily one of the best in the entire series. Problem is that now that she's broken free from her parents, what can she really do here? I do think she'll at least make merge though, but not get very far once there. I hope that they can somehow think up an interesting plot for her instead of her becoming Test 2.0, but I really don't know where to go with this character. Maybe she could talk to Benji? I don't know. Anywho, speaking of Benji, wait, no, I need to do the Addy section first. Addy, are you joking? Addison freaking Amber? This little cringy NPC Rio 2.0 is here. Where do we go? I literally made a whole video on how she sucks and what they could have done to fix her plot in All-Stars. And now you want to bring this snowball back again? She was already a finalist. What to do now? I don't know. Make her become friends with this squirrel on the island or something. I solely think she's here to play the role of the first boot because me and many others are sick of her. She's even hated in universe. How is she a fan favourite to anyone? She said in agreeing that Benji's her favourite character from Carnival of Chaos, so she'll probably talk to him. But why is she here? Like, Aiden, just bring back James or Young instead. We all know that James won't win, but at least people like him. This sucks, man. I don't like this choice at all. Anyway, let's move on. Speaking of... Oh, wait. Benji is next. Benji! Finally, some positivity in my life. Benji's one of my favourites in Carnival of Chaos, so I'm happy he's back. I think they could have picked someone else like Ted or Alessio, but this works too. I think Benji could easily make third place, and it's something I'd love to see. He's a pretty good character who works with any situation you put him in, so you can really go down any route with this guy. And like I mentioned earlier, I do think he's going to be paired up with Fiore to help with their arc. Overall, I'm extremely happy about this return, and really excited to see where the season takes him. Anyway, let's move on. Next up is Spencer. Now, like Benji, I think other characters will use his spot better, but I'm still very glad he's here. He's easily my favourite character in Carnival of Chaos, so having him back is such a joy. Now, while I do think he'll be a pre-merge boot, I do think he's only just going to miss out on merge. I think he could have some very interesting interactions with Fiore and Alec, along with carrying on his tensions like Natalia. Even if I don't see him making it far, I still think he'll make for some great and interesting strategy like in Carnival of Chaos, making the eliminations just as unpredictable. Anyway, speaking of Natalia, let's move on to her. Why is Natalia here? Sorry, I'm just kind of confused. We have characters like Linda, Isabel and Anastasia, who can all easily make interesting plots and serve for drama, but we're bringing Natalia instead? She's literally floating around for most of her season. All she serves is for is comedy, but isn't that why Benji's here? Why bring her back specifically if there are other characters that can do her job better? I don't understand. In fact, I only ever found her funny in her elimination episode. Even Alessio is funnier. That's not even an insult to Natalia. Alessio genuinely makes me laugh. I do think she'll be an early boot though, probably as a surprise twist. I do think she can have a good friendship with Gabby, like I mentioned earlier, but I just want her to get more of a character after her explosion of personality in episode 17. Anyway, now for the mystery player. Who do I think it's going to be? Now, we know it's confirmed not to be Hannah Zaid or Amelie now that she's eliminated. So, who out of the final 5 would it be? I think it will be Mr. Demon himself, Logan Hell. It adds up. Let me break it down. I have a pretty good feeling that Jade won't make the finale. Hannah's a hit or miss, but she's already confirmed not to be here anyway. Due to Logan's immense flipping, the jury will most likely vote him off, leaving him in 3rd place. Aiden and Annie both made 3rd and they're here, so why not Logan? With the already in gender imbalanced cast, it all makes sense as well. But for now, we'll just have to wait and see. So, from worst to best, who am I most excited to see? This ranking is not including the mystery player. It is not fair for me to just assume that it's Logan. Okay, so, 11th, Ali. I already don't like this character, so I automatically don't want to see her in the season. Aiden. He just floated around in All Stars and did the James thing in season 2, so why is he here? Natalia, 9th. Kind of the same reason as Aiden. She floated in Carnival of Chaos and other characters can do her job but better. 8th, Lake. I like her character, but I really don't know what she can do in this season. 7th, Spencer. I'm really looking forward to his gameplay. I just don't see him making it far. 6th, Benji. I really enjoyed him in Carnival of Chaos and I'm really looking forward to what he has to offer this time around. 5th, Alec. His interaction with Fiore are what makes me so excited, and also because I feel like he can make a lot of really good tension. 4th, Rose Maria. Out of being robbed out of a place in All Stars, she's back. She will finally be able to shine. 3rd, Gabby. My overall favourite character in this venture camp. I'm just looking forward to the top 2's development more. 2nd, Tom. He's finally getting development without Jake, and we get to see more of him and Gabby's chaotic friendship. 1st, Fiore. After being an early boot in All Stars, she's finally back to continue her dynamic with Alec and showcase her ultimate redemption. Now, although I do feel mostly positive about the cast, I feel like I could have chosen a way better one myself. So I'm going to go through my picks from each season and explain why they should have been here instead. Firstly, for season 1, I chose Alec, Tom, Fiore and Gabby. Yeah, it's literally the same. They knocked it out of the park with these picks. Well, that section was quick. Next, for season 2, I chose Rose Maria, James, Yul and Carol. I've already shared my thoughts on Rose and Maria being in the cast, so I'll go ahead and explain my reasoning for the other 3. James. He's never done a season without Aiden. I know. Aiden never did fun without James. But he kinda did. James is the first boot in All Stars after all. Anyways, here he can continue his conflict with Carol, wondering whether he should play more ruthlessly again for his own good or try to stay passive to make Aiden proud. Yul. Now that there's no Villains Alliance, he's basically just here to serve as a comedic first boot. Sort of like payback for everything he's done on previous seasons, especially to Gret. Carol! Okay. Connor Blake in All Stars and not Carol freaking Jones. Now they must be having a laugh. I think Carol is easily one of the most underutilised characters in all of this venture camp, having a very basic ideas, but having other traits like tension with James and her love for animals. Overall, Carol is just a perfect choice for this cast in my mind, but I can't have anything nice in this series anyway, so let's just move on. Now, for the Carnival of Chaos cast, I chose Ted, Alessio, Linda and Anastasia. Unlike the previous 2 casts, nobody in this one is actually going to be competing in the season, as far as we're aware. So I'm going to quickly share my thoughts on this fan cast and give an overall summary. Ted is literally a no-brainer. He easily has the most wasted potential out of any Adventure Camp character and should have made at least top 5 in Carnival of Chaos. He should come back to continue his story with Alessio, which is clearly set up in Rescue Island, and overall just redeem himself after that trashy elimination in his debut season. Alessio is sort of a wild card, but I mainly put him here because of his story with Ted. I also think he has a lot more to offer as comic relief, and although it was very obvious first boot last time around, he has a lot of overlooked potential that could lead to a very interesting character arc about discovering his purpose and goal in life. Linda was robbed and should have won the season. Okay, maybe not won. In fact, I never even expected her to make top 5, but she should have made at least 18 episodes deep. Nope, another robbed villain. She can grow a bond with Ted and carry on the tension between her and Anastasia, whilst realising that she doesn't really have to prove anything to her kids. Anastasia is literally just here filling in the stuff, nothing else. Although she definitely holds up as a character, she can get very stale without a plot to work off of. In fact, some of my favourite Anastasia moments are her interaction with Linda, as they offer some exciting and suspenseful situations. Now, overall, am I excited for this season? Yes, definitely. My only concern is what the characters that I had negative opinions on will do. But it's definitely a very creative and interesting season idea. I can't wait to be introduced to the fans half of this cast, as their designs only portray a basic vibe, and it makes things really hard to predict. So yeah, I'm really excited for this season to go ahead. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure to subscribe, interact on the community tab, subscribe to the collab channel Anti-Lemons, and have a good day. Or night, I don't know. I can't just assume it's 2025. Whatever. Bye bye!